Los Chargers y los Raiders, dos.
Dressed in a half gold and blue, half black and silver jersey, an LA area city official celebrated at a rally late last month. The rejoicing was over a game-changing announcement from the San Diego Chargers. The Bolts unveiled plans to share a new stadium with the Oakland Raiders in Carson.
I'm rooting for Team Carson.
It's the latest move by the Chargers to find a replacement for the 47-year-old Qualcomm Stadium. And it certainly puts some pressure on the team's home city of San Diego. Chargers Stadium spokesman Mark Fabiani says that was the idea.
The important thing to know now is that the Chargers and the city are feeling the same sense of urgency to try to get something done.
Fabiani spent more than a decade trying to persuade the city to build the Bolts a new home.
We keep hearing we need a new stadium, we need a new stadium. Why?
Simple answer is because everyone else has gotten them and they have moved dramatically ahead of the Chargers in terms of their local revenues. New stadiums are capable of generating revenue that we can't generate at Qualcomm.
But he says it's more than just making some extra money.
New stadiums generate new revenue, and in the NFL, that revenue is shared with the players, and so the salary cap goes up.
And Rivers looking to throw. Hoisting it towards the end zone, putting it on the zip line for Floyd. Touchdown, San Diego!
Fabiani insists the team prefers to stay in San Diego, but a new stadium doesn't come cheap. Estimates show costs could top $1 billion.
It's a 22-yard touchdown.
In Los Angeles, the larger market makes it easier for the team to find a funding source, but that's not the case in San Diego. Here, the team is prepared to put up $400 million from loans and out of its own pocket. But the question is, and it has been for more than a decade, how do you make up that gap? And where would you put it? Mayor Kevin Faulconer has a 9-member task force to answer that.
And they will be charged with studying 2 different options: building a stadium at the current Mission Valley location, or building a stadium along with an expanded convention center in downtown San Diego. This very well-rounded group.
His stadium advisory group has been meeting behind closed doors since February to select a site and propose a funding plan by the fall.
And make these recommendations.
But the Chargers' Carson announcement moved that deadline up to May. And tonight, the group is giving the public a shot to weigh in. San Diegans will have 3 hours to say where they want a new stadium and how they want to pay for it.
So it'll be $167.39.
Or if they want to pay for one at all. That debate screams deja vu to land use attorney David Watson.
The question becomes, how do you finance a project without imposing a new tax or taking money out of the general fund?
Watson chaired San Diego's first stadium task force back in 2002, when the Chargers' threat to relocate then sent the city into a frenzy to keep them. But the city's pension crisis and subsequent financial stress put the issue on the back burner.
I'm sure that the current task force is looking at the fact that the city may not have a lot of cash laying around, but they have 166 acres.
That's the city-owned acreage in Mission Valley, where Qualcomm Stadium sits. Watson's task force suggested the Chargers take on the full cost of a new stadium, but get the right to develop the surrounding city land to make some of the investment back. San Diego County Supervisor Ron Roberts says a similar idea is floating around today.
One of the options could be for the city and the county to look and say, if this property is developed, we're going to get a lot of property tax out of it. And in order to get it started, you might have to front end some cost that could be, in effect, repaid through property tax or through the proceeds of the development itself.
But if you're like Watson, maybe you don't care if the Chargers stay or go, especially in light of a nearly $2 billion infrastructure funding gap.
Because I see going to a sports entertainment venue as an optional expense.
But he says San Diegans should be the ones to decide if that's an option the city offers. You can voice your opinion to the task force beginning at 6 at Qualcomm Stadium. Even if you don't, the mayor promised that you'll be asked at the ballot box. Tarryn, Mento, KPBS News.